Hello and welcome to today's stock and crypto TA charts live stream with me, No FOMO Charts. Today is Sunday, March 20th, 2022. It is 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am live streaming about 8 hours earlier than usual today. It's early stream here on Sunday. All right, we had a lot of long action in the market in the past 3 days, and let's just go over some of it. I'm going to do a much shorter stream today, just about half stocks and then half crypto. So let's get right into it and demystify what's happening in the market. First off, please note the Russia-Ukraine war is still ongoing, although there have been some diplomatic developments with President Biden planning to travel to Europe, and he had that call with the Chinese president. So, that was very a bullish sign. The market digested that. Also, we had quadruple witching Friday, which essentially increased the volatility of the options market, and so that's what this is in this blue circle. So these three candles. But there are technical reasons why we went up. Let's look at it with the Dow Jones. Just for 2021, if you draw support, resistance, horizontal, and trend lines, we'll find the answer. So what am I talking about? You just draw this trend line right here. You draw one of these. Okay, and you can see that it has multiple touch points. How many? One, basically 2, 3, 4, essentially 4 touch points in the blue circle. Then we have a resistance trend line on the top side. The problem is, or the issue is, we just basically broke, we're just touching it right now. Futures, I'm not looking at futures right now because the Asian market is not open right now. But you can see this trend line here. These are the two levels we're basically playing against. It's still in a downtrend. Please note, it's still in a daily downtrend. The Dow Jones. So let's not get super excited. Let's not get euphoric excited just because we saw 3-4 days of green. It's still in a short-term daily downtrend, medium-term daily downtrend. Okay, this left side here in early 2021, that was an uptrend. This was going up. Then we consolidated sideways and we're down. We just had a nice support level bounce in the market. Why did that happen? Let's dig down further. Why did it happen? Okay, this chart might not show it, but if you look at the S&P 500, I'm going to switch it now. We had a clear double bottom, which I labeled in my own when I was looking at the charts. I think I saw it here. What did I see? It was like on March 14th. I was awake on that day, trading. I was day trading on that day. But I saw this double bottom. It's like, oh, okay, interesting. It might happen. And it actually did happen. Okay, but the Dow Jones, slightly different setup if we want to analyze it a little bit more in depth. Instead of having just a clear double bottom like the S&P 500, you still have a support level. Okay, this is why I use support and resistance. This classic technical analysis, what do we have down here? We have a support level. What does that mean? It means that the price is holding that. It's like a temporary floor. 2 days it got really dodgy. It was very suspicious. On this day when the war started, February 24, and then March 8th was really volatile day. That was like 2 weeks ago. But if you don't give into the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and we just look at this chart, you can draw a horizontal support line. It's better if you use a box, if I use a box. Sometimes this blue is so sloppy, right? It's just a marker. So it's good to use really clear levels. If you want to get really accurate, you can see a horizontal line right on 32,906. And you see the price held above that. Also, if we want to go even more in depth on the intraday, there's a triangle here that I was looking at. So we can see, let's draw this here. We can draw, there's a symmetrical triangle. I might have to put a different color. So before I even look at indicators, this is what I was looking at this past week, is there's a symmetrical triangle here. There's a symmetrical triangle on Bitcoin as well. Not the exact same setup, but this is measurable. It was measurable 5% from the breakout. How much did we go? Almost exactly 5%. Literally. So this pattern is becoming very suspicious now. I wrote a quick note to my Discord saying, well, this is essentially overextended on certain time frames. If on the intraday time frame, like a 5-minute or a 15-minute, it's in the overbought zone. I mean, it's kind of high right now, but it's holding support, so I'm not going to short it down to oblivion. It already happened yet. It already happened on March 16th, right, on the intraday. Let me make my screen a little bigger. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. So I am anticipating a pullback as a swing trader. I am anticipating it. But what kind of clues can we see on the charts? Well, if we just look at the price, what I'm looking at is maybe I'll circle it for you. Once we have a large extension to the upside, as such, 5%. Okay, it's the same. I'm still in the same setup. 5%. Are we going to get this pullback that I'm circling in the blue? Right here. Are we going to get that right? It already kind of happened in the middle part on March 16th, but if we just copy paste that pattern, the 5%, let's look at some indicators. RSI, I mean, RSI wasn't even as high as we are now, but we have some global developments. That's the difference. 2 weeks ago was the start of the war. That was really bad. The charts didn't really matter 2 weeks ago. But now that we have a little bit of diplomatic developments happening politically and globally, okay, maybe the charts will matter a little bit more if there's less, fear, uncertainty, doubt. There's some expectations, but please keep in mind, whenever I look at the news, the Russia-Ukraine war is not over. It's not over. So we just had a combination of many things happening, maybe 4 or 5 things happening at the same time. A little short squeeze, options expiration, a little bit of bullish sentiment on the global news, technical setups, meaning chart pattern setups, and we were kind of oversold on some time frames. So that's another reason why we had momentum to the upside. So just watch out for that potential setup. Okay, that's one setup. One setup could pull back to where? One of these EMAs, so like a 34,409, maybe all the way down to 34,000 itself, right? High, low, high, low, high. It might pull back. If we use a mini Fibonacci, maybe somewhere about the 34,000 range, even somewhere lower 34,000s. It could always go higher, right? If there's bullish developments, it would be very, telling for the history books if every single day we get more positive development. However, we cannot go straight up green forever. It's possible. It's possible. Okay, but usually there are pullbacks on the way up, right? There's red on the way up if we just turn everything off. Okay, you still have to look at the larger investment time frame, at least 2 years. So, we could have one green pop and we're still in a daily downtrend. Does that make sense? If we look at our weekly, it's just one weekly nice green pop up to the upside, but it's still this consolidation sideways downtrend on the weekly still. So it's not over yet. The downtrend, I mean. The good news, while the chart is loading, is the shorter term time frames are angling up, so that's good. It's just a matter of on the daily. What happened to my internet? My chart's so slow. There we go. Right, so the 15-minute still golden crossed, 5 minutes golden crossed. We need the 1 hour to golden cross, but then that usually will mean that the price will have to pull back a couple times and keep going up in this upstairs pattern. And then it needs to do that on the 4 hour. So what I'm talking about in this particular setup is I'm using the larger 4 hour pattern as my guide right now. Because if you look at the price, if we look at it together, there's plenty of room to pull back. Just one pullback. It's at the resistance. It's at the top of the ceiling. So only two things can happen. It's going to break out and retest later at a higher level, or it's just going to fold over for 3 days or 5 days, pull back a little bit, and then try to go up. Or if something bad happens and we actually do enter World War III, then this thing is crashing down. Right? Because President Zelensky of Ukraine is, you know, if you kind of hit, the tone of his language has changed over the past week, even just the past couple days. So, you know, that's just something to always keep in mind, is the risk that we have in this market. It's still this, right? Down here was a better risk reward because it was 5%, and what's the stop loss? It's under those two candles, 1% stop loss or 2%, right? There's a lot of fear in that, but sometimes buying the fear is the right play. But if somebody goes long here, okay, without any strategy or risk management, then what's the downside risk? 3 times more, 4 times more, 2 to 4 times more, right? So there's always potential downside. Anything bad happening that goes wrong, this thing's gonna, it's right there. It could pull back. If we have bullish development, it's going up, right? Why am I spending 10 minutes on this chart? Is because this is a setup for hundreds of charts, stocks, and index ETFs. Okay, so I'm just using the Dow Jones index as an example, and you could just copy paste that probably on a lot of index ETFs. S&P 500, just really, I'll try to speed this up. I just want to do the drawings for the majors. All right, we did have this nice little bottom right here, very nice pattern, but still stuck at the resistance. It just actually SPY's different. Actually, this one broke out. Okay, so if you draw these two lines, which I've previously drawn many times, is support, support, resistance, resistance, just breakout though. So that's the difference on the SPY chart. And right at these EMA resistances. So again, the 5-minute, 15-minute is uptrending. So day traders, be aware of that. And the swing traders, though, we're kind of anticipating either a little bit of a gap up or a little blow off top, and probably some pullback. It's losing some of this momentum, so I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't mean it's going to crash down to the bottom. It's just I need to see a little bit of red, right? Because a swing trader, this is not a dip at all. The dip was March 16 at 11:30 a.m. or at the end of the day, 1:30, right? Right at that support level zone, the gap. So the dip, that was the second spot for swing trading. That was the second spot of entry. At the first spot was the bottom of this resistance, double bottom here, and it's up 7%. There's a W. I measured it, 3%, so 3 to 6%. Do we hit that target? We hit the 3% target perfectly. So you want to watch out for that. Is this particular pattern is the first phase is completed. If it's going to go up even more, okay, fine. 4,613 is the second target, but we already hit the first target. So we don't want to foam. So I'm just saying, just a quick example, general example is this is kind of a higher spot to buy than down here. Okay, it's up a lot. 5% S&P 500 is a huge move. All right, NASDAQ, same deal with NASDAQ. Very, very similar. Yes, it's in the daily, the death cross, but we held the support level. This would have been a much different story if we lost the support level and kept going down if there's no good news. But we held the support level of 12,500. That's why it's important to just sometimes you just draw one line. And then as a trader, you make one decision. So this yellow bar was here for a long time. I was saying this is kind of the zone. This is the zone support zone. It's not a, one line number. The trend line resistance above this was also broken. So, how can I say this? So larger cap stocks, basically more large companies and tech companies had a nice bounce because they were oversold. And I should just point out that 2 weeks ago, I think it's 2 weeks ago on my Discord, I released a very large free watch list, right? And basically the timing was tricky on those, but all those ticker symbols, they all went up. Same thing with some of those cryptos. That's why it's a watch list. Watch it very carefully, and then strikes as a trader. It's tactical trading until this nice support was here. But please keep in mind, if you, like I said, if you're an investor, if you're still in a downtrend, we're not out of this yet. Like I keep telling people, I'm using the COVID 2020 low crash into the recovery as my guide. We might be seeing it, right? We might be seeing. I'm talking about this the right side here. I want to see this right side. We might be seeing it the starting of that formation. Right, because this left side, okay, is down. We had the support level. Okay, that's major, but now it needs to not drop ever below 12,500. Okay, so that's one technique, just using price analysis and not even using indicators to understand what we need to look out for. We had a daily death cross though, so that's, if you use indicators though, this is a bad sign. Okay, even though the price is going up, it's still saying, okay, warning, this is not good. The price needs to basically do this to get into an uptrend, and then it should be very obvious by then for investors to get back into this market. People did start buying in this zone. I know professional investors, some of them came on television and they're saying they're buying here. But, it just depends on your time frame. However, from my experience, buying on the top side of green is relatively buying high. So just watch out for that. I'm actually just looking out for a pullback. It might go up one more day and then it's going to pull back. And then it's the true test of, is this the bottom of the market or not? A lot of people are calling it tradable bottom on television, meaning for trading makes sense. All right, let's move on. We'll just do a couple examples here of some stocks that I'm talking about. Let's look at some of the majors like, Apple, Tesla, those types of things. So Apple, major component of some of these indexes. Let's just do 2021 till now. You can see we did have this extended trend line on the left and right side. But our intermediate, I'm going to call our swing trading time frame, is a much steeper trend line. It's not even perfect. It's going to be violated to the downside. We could draw it perfectly now, but it was violated at some point, meaning this touch point. It's still here though, because it's 1, 2, 3, and then close enough to the fourth one. We have resistance 1, 2. This one didn't happen yet. So that's why I like to draw left and I like to draw right. And then we also have support levels. The immediate support right above, the resistance above is 166.81 or 167. The immediate support is 163. So now it's in this kind of broadening wedge formation, still downward sloping. But if we take a peek at our intraday, like our swing trade, our day traders, yes, it is up cross, but this 15 minutes getting a little bit overextended. Sometimes Apple is what I'm talking about. Sometimes you get some of these little pullbacks. This is a large one, a medium one, a smaller one. We haven't had that yet for the past day. So that's why I'm anticipating possible, even if it's just a small little pullback before we continue up. This is uptrending though on this 15-minute. This 1 hour golden cross, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't fall back to 160 to retest that support. And that would make total sense on the swing trade time frame as well. You do have a gap support here at 155. So these numbers, 160, 155 for Apple, are support levels. And the resistance levels above 167 and 172 can be targets. It is starting to upcross and uptrend. Apple being our lead bull, but it looks like it wants to come down first. Possible. It's not perfect. It's possible. Let's do... what's another major one? Let's do Amazon because they had that stock split. So even after the Amazon stock split, I was looking at this chart. I said, wait a second, this is some kind of quasi little sloppy upside down head and shoulders slanted. And it might not be textbook, but it's there. You could also say, wait a second, this golden bar right here, isn't this a double bottom on the price? It turned out to be yes. So there's multiple setups. If we really, what I like to call just, stay in with the market. Just you don't have to trade, but you chart. What I learned is, as soon as I quit charting, I can quit trading, meaning take a break from trading. There's no rule that anybody has to day trade or swing trade every day or week or month, but I learned to not quit charting, technical analysis. Because technical analysis for price is the only way for me that I'm going to find any potential opportunities using price analysis. So, sometimes people tell me, well, I have no time for charts. Well, it's, doesn't take that long to look at a couple of stocks. It doesn't take that long. So, just quickly pointing this one out. If this was a true upside down head and shoulders, okay. I'm going to measure 10% from the neck breakout. Did we go 10%? We basically, yes, we went perfect. So all these setups were here. This is what I was saying for 2 weeks straight is we're looking for the support consolidation, like a double bottom or, going sideways consolidation or upside down head and shoulders. That's the three things basically that every swing trader should know, or a double bottom or something like that. And then we just put some risk on. I put some risk on. That's what this box is. It's a larger one, 5 to 10, but hit the target for the swing trading, right at this EMA resistance. So we'll watch out for that. Now I'm looking for, okay, this thing's uptrending on the 15-minute, 5-minute, 15-minute, 1 hour. Not quite the 4 hour, but the 1 hour is in this overbought range on this RSI. So looking for a pullback because we see this pattern. Up, down, up. So, okay, at some point it's going to come down. Probably. Sometimes it goes crazy up like crypto and moons. But, this is a large cap. This is a billions and billions dollar company. It's probably just going to follow the book. Usually. But why did I not, push these technical setups on everything is because we have extreme volatility in the world right now. It's pretty volatile in the markets. All right, let's do a couple more. Let's do like a Tesla because it's very, very popular. Tesla save deal. Almost got stopped out. Almost. This is a huge trade, right? 10 to 20%. The 20% target is still there, but the problem is it's a very ugly chart. Ugly. Why? This is so choppy. I know Tesla's so popular. It's so tradable. This is choppy. The only clue for this, for me on this daily, was we established this higher low right here. Because if you zoom out and say, wait a second, you might have to use a weekly for this. If you zoom on the weekly, you can see the clue here, but downtrend, right? On the daily though, we held. This is a better chart. Daily straight up double bottom. On this candle, it doesn't look like it, but sometimes that's why I like to use line chart, straight up double bottom. That's it. That's the only reason. Technical wise, Very simple. Yes, there's momentum, bullish momentum. And then if we want to go 4 hour, we love the RSI. Okay, it's oversold, it's low, great. But still that price, did Tesla go below $700 in the past 2 weeks? The answer on this chart is no, it did not. There is a little, what I like to call a baby double bottom. Okay, here it is. Here's the signal. Right? It's no secret. If you study technical analysis, price analysis, no secret. Also, we did have some bullish engulfing. If you study some candlesticks, bullish engulfing pattern. Okay, great. Put some risk on. What was the setup here? 3% to downside, which is kind of a lot. It's a lot. But on this particular day, I remember I was day trading and watching CNBC right next to me, and I remember there's like this talk panel of 6 people or something on television, and sometimes these hedge fund managers, sometimes they're right on their calls, not every time, but they were saying it's a tradable bottom. It's a we've hit fear lows. It's not going down on fear anymore. And it's true. I felt it on social media that, this, as COVID has been priced in, the fear of the war has been priced in to a certain extent. And any good development that's bullish is going to bounce the market up. We had the precursor to this was the China stock market. The government saying they're going to support these stocks, basically, from crashing the Chinese stocks. That's what started the rally, and then we had some diplomatic developments. This is a phenomenal trade. Wow, it was a 5-to-1 reward to risk. 5-to-1. Did we know it's going to go up that high? No, but that is the next resistance level up. Okay, so let's play the 2 scenarios right now. Is if it's going to go, if this is a true W pattern, okay, if it's going to go 14% from the breakout, that would be $1,000 again. Tesla. Okay, that's the bull case scenario. The bear case scenario is, well, it's still stuck here for today at least. It's the stock market is closed right now for me in USA, so it has to break that. It has to break. We did close above 900, but it needs to not really get rejected down from that, because the bears can say maybe one more day of up, and then they reject it down to the downside as possible. So this particular setup is kind of over to me. It's kind of over. So just keep your eyes peeled on this one, meaning just really, really keep your eyes peeled. Keep your eyes peeled. Gotta watch out for it. Okay, I'm going to kind of draw these lines. It's kind of sloppy, but it actually makes sense to me on the charts. It's just they're these levels. So 700, 900, 1100, these levels, if you just draw it that way. Take a quick peek on the intraday, because this is not the full story. This is the investor time frame swing trading. All right, 1 hour up cross, just like Apple. 50-minute up cross, EMA up cross, 1 hour up cross, 4 hour not up crossed yet, but it's uptrending. And I would not be surprised again at some point if we get a little bit of a pullback, just like these other days. You can see it right in the pre-market, 1.52%, and just make sure, the immediate support is, where is it? It's 888, 880, and 897. If we have a severe crash, like a small one, then it's going down to 840. So just watch out for that. If the bears take control for a couple days, it'll go down like that. Just watch out for that. Okay, but for me, I've been having one eye and one ear open on the news every single day, weekday, basically. Okay, all right, I'm going over time, but let's just take a quick look at some of these commodities and metals, and then we'll switch over to crypto. I'm going to do a much shorter stream format. Okay, so US oil, why did we crash down in the first place? Well, the supply demand relating to the war, but on technical charts, there's a head and shoulders right here, textbook. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline. Measure it. It might not go the full 15%. It might have, no, it did not. Right, but still bearish. It went 10%. It's close enough. Close enough. And remember, I was saying, watch out for this kind of blow off top type of thing where you get this big doji like a Tilray stock, MJ stock. Watch out for that. And then what we have, a giant evening star type of pattern to gap down and downtrending. But it's not over yet for oil. Why? Because there's always bots and algorithms who are going to buy things when it's down low. This one was more of an intraday setup. We tested the 50 EMA on the bottom side, but still a double bottom on this price. Again, it's showing up everywhere in the market. It showed up everywhere in the market. That's how I knew we were going to bounce. Support 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Double bottom to the upside. Measured move of 3%. How much did we go? We went 7%. Double the target. That's why this could turn into another lower high. Possible. Is it going to be an upside down head and shoulders? I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. Okay, so if it's going to rest here for a couple days and then bounce up, okay, that's TA charts for us. But if it's going to fall, because it's 1 hour uptrending, just watch out for that, right? It's 15 minutes, 1 hour. It's kind of looking like Apple. It's very strange. But that means the whole market is correlated now. Let's stop here for a second. Because there was a point where the market and oil were inverse correlation, meaning if oil went up, the market went down. That's not the case anymore right now. The market went up and oil went up. I'm talking about S&P 500 went up. Oil went up and Bitcoin went up. So everything went up. All assets went up. All assets went up, right? So what does that mean? That means that there's a lot of short squeezes that happened. Options, futures, and then the bull said now is the time to buy some, or at least some, get a tradable bottom. But the problem is the 1 hour, the H1, is it just golden up crossed on oil. Even with the price in this momentum, it looks like it wants to try to pull back or at least rest. So the immediate support is $73 on USO. Could it turn into another uptrend? It definitely can. But is it low priced right now relative? If I just look for March, if I look inside of March, because this is when people start going crazy globally about USO. This is a very good example right here. If we just look at this, even a simple line chart. What's the trend? Left side for March was up. Trend. Uptrend. We're having a little bit of topping out formation. Then we went to downtrend very quickly. This is swing trading. For people who are maybe new, I'm not holding this thing forever. It's expensive. For now. Then we went sideways. Okay. And now we're in a little short-term uptrend. Okay, but the longer term, if we zoom out to possibly a weekly, is we have not had weekly consolidation on USO for 6 months, almost 5 months. Because if I draw this, it becomes very obvious where it could drop down to $60, right? So that's why I always keep the longer term picture in mind. Try to box this in with this resistance. So okay, it's above the trendline resistance. I see. It's trying to hold it. You see that? It's trying to hold it so hard. The price. Holding on for dear life. It had that one fumble bounce at the end. But this could also be some kind of dirty Elliott wave. 1, 2, or the long 3 wave, pull back for 4, and then 5. We hit the 5 already. So are we going to get the A, the B to the C downside correction? Possible. Elliott wave is a little more advanced, but the general, it's not perfect, this target, wherever this thing is down here, but that's the general idea. How long could that take? Could take 2 months, 2-3 months for it to end up down here in the 60s, but if it happens, we just saw the setup. It's one potential bearish setup if we lose the $70 range. Potential. But that would, to me, that means the war has to end. So it's a maybe. Everything is not about charts right now. All right, let's do gold, because I was looking at that before we started. Gold, we hit the pullback. Pullback on gold. Why? Why? Even if we didn't know anything about global news, let's say for me, I wasn't watching any news for 1 month, you could still play this thing. That's what I love about technical analysis is whatever happens in the world eventually gets priced in to the asset, to the chart. So even if I turn everything off and I try to reduce the emotion, the bias of looking at the chart, apply the process, and then look at some indicators from wonderful TradingView. The tools that I'm using is all TradingView tools, right? So right here, we draw a trend line from the bottom side to the top side. Wow. Somebody is playing this perfectly. It just looks like some market maker, some algo is playing the support level perfectly. We tried to hold on the goal. We tried to have the Morningstar pattern, but got rejected down from that. The resistance was 1949. And remember, I was saying when it's up here, watch out. It was 2,550 was the target, and then watch out for the pullback, and that actually happened. So now what are we doing? Okay, so if I put a Fibonacci top to bottom, it looks like it wants to hit the 618, 1887 if we keep pulling back, right? Low, high bounce, rejection, downside for gold, possibly. The 1880s, 1860s range. But intraday, we're probably going to get bounces, right? If this thing gets low enough, it's going to bounce again, right? Low, high, low, high, low. So it's just a matter of time once things get cooled off on the market. So that's gold. Okay, I'm going a little over time. We're going to end soon in about 25 minutes. So let's go to crypto. Crypto. So first, starting off with total market cap. Total market cap. Why do I love this chart? It's basically the entire crypto total market capitalization in dollars. So I remember looking at this I think it was right here, March 14, 15, saying, wait a second, hang on. There is some kind of triangle formation. That's why, for me, what I learned again is if something bad is happening in the world, I do not have to trade it, but I need to chart the assets. I need to chart it. I need to keep working at it. I cannot turn my computer off. As a technical analyst, I can't turn the computer off. So I kept it very simple. I said, wait a second, what is this happening right here in the price? What is this? I said, oh, there's a double bottom. I got March 14, 15. Wait a second, double bottom. So that's probably gonna go up. And then I draw my trend lines, support and resistance trend lines. These are very short term. It's only 3 months. Then we draw resistance. I was saying 1.91 and support 1.65 trillion dollars. What I'm saying as a note in my Discord is, well, okay, we just hit this resistance and it's backing down off of it. There's a resistance of 1.88. So it just means probably it's too high for now, the price. Still in the daily death cross, the 4 hour, these things starting to uptrend, okay? It's hitting our 1 hour. So I wouldn't be surprised if we crash down and then tomorrow morning or like overnight, we keep going down and then we keep going down and then we bounce. Potential, day trading scalp opportunity if someone's willing to do that. But crypto is already trying to upcross an uptrend. 1 hour uptrend, 4 hour golden cross. So the support would be 1.77. Sometimes I like to retest that to make sure it's real. And in the blue, up, down, up, down, up, down, maybe to like a 1.78 trillion area on crypto. But again, it's crypto. So the market makers on crypto, the hedge funds, the billion-dollar funds, the whales, they might try to stop people all the way out to 1.6 and then scoop and buy down here. So I would watch out for that. Because when crypto crashes, it crashes on if there's really bad news. So just understand that this X, you can try to copy paste this, it's not perfect, but in a bad case scenario, this could repeat just again. But the difference this time is we have a golden cross on the 4 hours. Wait a second, that's great. So that needs to make sure we need to not ever go down below 1.68 trillion. All right, so now if we go to Bitcoin futures, you can see we're still in this consolidation little wedge, possible ascending triangle. It was a wedge, but now it's possible ascending triangle. So this is what I'm talking about. This could be a bullish sign for Bitcoin itself, right? Kind of reminds me of 2019 a little bit. We'll look at that. But this is a 4 hour swing trading time frame. We have our support right here on the bottom side. It's still death crossed. It's not quite there. This thing has to really uptrend for maybe 2 weeks before we get the up cross. 1 or 2 weeks. Is it really low RSI? Not really. But if you were looking at it more investing time frame, okay, this has happened before. The death cross happened in the pandemic, but we had a flash crash. That was a true flash crash. But we also had, this is what I'm saying, kind of back here. Right here. So 2019, the end. We had a clear support level. So this is the price action that I need to memorize or burn into my memory. That might happen. So what is it? I try to identify it right now. We had a downtrend. We were downtrending for the whole year. That's the context. Kind of like now. But we had a support level just like S&P 500 where it was, in this case, 6,500 to 6,900 Bitcoin. Retested it 3 times, and this is also upside down head and shoulders. But if people don't know that, it's just the price not going lower for 3 months. And then it starts going up. You could draw 2 lines. It's so simple. You just draw your support, resistance. Just take a giant highlighter. Support and resistance. And then whichever way it breaks, okay, there's the momentum on that side. And then we draw the trend line. Until the trend line is broken, it's still going up. Right? So now, I mean, but in this case, this is a very unique black swan case. We had, it turned into a head and shoulders into COVID. So it's like, wow, what a historical example. But fast forward till now, we went up, we went up so much, we came down, up again and down. And so we're still high. It's not $6,000 Bitcoin. We're looking at 42,000 right now on the charts. But okay. It's different than the Dogecoin crash. Why? Because this thing is angling up right now. Dogecoin crash was angling down. This thing's going down. This thing's going sideways, up. Oh, I like that. Why? Because it's a potential to change the trend and actually start going up again. And maybe we'll hit 60,000 Bitcoin again this year. Maybe. So the same key concept applies. This is not an upside down head and shoulders, but as long as we don't go below 40,000, we might. But 40,000, let me draw this stuff. 40,000. Bitcoin, 37,000, 35,000, 32, and the big one, 30,000. It needs to not really go below these blue lines on the chart. These 3. Because what does that mean? Bitcoin's been very quiet. But the fact that we're consolidating into a potential ascending triangle, maybe. It's an ascending wedge. It's not a triangle yet. So it needs to tighten up a lot more and then break out if it's going to happen. But if this is actually true, potential 20%, 28% upside on Bitcoin, which would take us back to 60,000, 58,000, 60,000. Possible. It's possible. But then always think about the risk, right? I'm thinking about it too right now, looking at my screen. Is if I just buy right now, what's my downside risk? There could be 10% downside risk with only 7% upside. It's not the greatest trade unless I'm trying to target that long term. I mean, if you got a lot of courage and bravery and you're saying, okay, this is holding, maybe somebody can buy it now. I might buy some, maybe. But I kind of like a little bit more discount, so I'm looking for more of these types of entries right when it touches Morningstar bounce. I like that. I like those chart patterns. When it's floating inside of the middle, I know some traders won't even touch that because they're looking for the X at the top or the X at the bottom. One of those. Middle is chop zone. Not interested unless you're a day trader. So, I'm not going to talk about scalping, but the fact that we are 15-minute up crossed and 1 hour up crossed is great. It's just, it's probably going to pull back. You can see it's just so high. It's in the sky right now. I don't like to buy things in the sky. That's what I learned over time. I try my hardest not to do that. This is actually a short setup. Short it down from the sky into the ground and then sell. Okay, so hopefully Bitcoin, I explained it well enough. I mean, there's this momentum building. That's why it's very suspicious. It's such like very similar to right here, July, in this vertical pink to this vertical pink, right? Can we get the weekly higher high? This is such a dirty chart, but in the white price, it double bottom on the weekly. Oh, it's might happen. It might happen. That's why I'm calling on the stream now. If it's going to go bullish, the target could be eventually this year 60,000. It might take the whole year though to get there because to crash down it took 3 months. So okay, this Dogecoin crash from low to high took 120 days, 4 months. So swing trading, investing, that's it. But then if it gets rejected to the downside, it's not looking, that would not be good for crypto. If we lose 38K and it keeps going down, not good. All right. So just keep looking at a couple of these other ones. Let me just check the Bitcoin dominance chart. Okay, so it's still holding. It's not like here where Bitcoin dominance is crashing. No, it's holding. It's up in the longer term. Can we just look at Bitcoin? Ethereum is very similar. It's still in the daily downtrend, but we had this evening star pattern, which is bearish in the short term. The 4 hour is up cross. The 1 hour is getting low. The Asia market session is not open yet. Australia and New Zealand is not open yet. Their stock exchanges. So we're probably going to see some action today. Day traders are going to feast on this. How those are going to go before we get a little lower high bounce on Ethereum. The support level to downside 2774. Okay, but be careful on this. Why? We had this before, although it was much faster. Looking at February, the last week of February into March, it's looking kind of like now. It's not the exact same, but it could crash down hard based on the news. And the first RSI bounce is not the bottom, so be careful of that. I learned that the hard way in the past. Watch out for that. Binance coin, what's going on here? Binance coin, I think I drew this for somebody. Somebody asked me, right? As a scalp, so, wow, this is a beautiful scalp. It's like 10% sweet trade. But at least for the scalp, it was here, right? This is still dirty pattern. Why? It's consolidation. Nobody's sure. Well, is the war gonna end or what's happening? So that's why it's going sideways, market indecision. But still, you see the descending triangle pattern. This particular pattern is not good. It would be better if it's ascending triangle, the inverse of this. It would have to look like that, and then the price would have to be angling up. Okay, so that's why we need to know our chart patterns, our charts patterns. It's a descending triangle pattern, still bearish. If we break down 10%, that would be 321. If it breaks out, 440 is the upside target. 440 upside target, 10% downside target. This is still the resistance on top. You could draw the resistance trend line to basically hold in all the price. That one doesn't really work. So also you could draw, your supported resistance, the resistance on the top and the support on the bottom. You could play it like that as well. I might play this. At some point, you can also draw parallel channels. Just so many tools on TradingView is absolutely wonderful. The only problem is this daily death cross. All right. Weekly, what are we looking at for investment? This weekly pattern, see, this is what I'm saying, is if you zoom out, look at the price, people getting super hyped up and extremely hyped up about crypto right now, I would caution against it. It's so high. If you look at the chart, only looking at Binance Coin, Tether USDT, is the price relatively low or is it high right now as an investor? It's kind of on the high side, because I remember in the crypto, COVID crash, Binance Coin was like $5 or $6. I remember that day. I was like thinking to myself, you kidding me? This is the biggest red day I've ever seen in 2020. And there's so much fear and panic on that day. And I looked at the crypto prices and I said, wait a second, Binance Coin is $6.50. What is it now? 387. So, even here in a relative, it's saying, wait, I didn't start crypto until 2021. Well, there's still, if we look at this blue box, let's see, is the circled, let me do it this way. Is the circle low or high relative in this box? Is the circle low or high? The circle is relatively low. In the box, is the X relatively high or is it low? It's relatively high, right? The problem is that people get FOMO'd in, and sometimes happens to me too, but traders get FOMO'd in and everyone listens to other people on social media, chat rooms and such, and then we get a bias, right? The way I deal with bias is all I stare at is what you're looking at right now too, just the chart. This is all I look at. Tells me everything I need to know for price action. So what is it doing? It's going sideways. Look at this just sideways pattern. It's going nowhere. It's in a gigantic trading range like that. So you could see the bearish setup is wait, it's already downtrending. If this doesn't hold, the downside risk is 258. The descending triangle, that it would go way lower than that. 258, 6 months target if it breaks down. But it's right in that middle heart line area. So if we hold this, it could actually go up. So right now it's just look, nobody knows exactly. But if you're gonna put on some risk, which I might, I would like to do it more at a support level if it's even possible, right? Because how many times, because this is the secret. If you've been in crypto long enough, market makers, hedge funds, bots, algorithms, they're going to try to, wherever I put my position, they're going to force me out. Because what is this? What is this stick? If you've been in the market long enough, you know exactly what the market makers, hedge funds, the whales, the sharks, they try to do to people. Because all they have to do is, if somebody buys right now, this is not the perfect example. If somebody buys right now, all they have to do is sell, and they crush all the stop losses out, and then then there's some global short algorithm that's going to push it down and kick everyone out of their position. They're going to stop it all the way down. Happened to me so many times. That's how I learned their strategy. So who knows? Maybe it's prudent to put a buy order down here. Just like that one Amazing Trading View article. It said sometimes, I'm paraphrasing here, but it's saying sometimes you put a low limit order. Very, very low. So where's low? Like 338 or 327. Not naked position, but if you can do a triple order, if like some people trade with bots, crypto bots, right? You can do a triple order that way, or just put an alert down there, or just write it down on a notebook, right? But that doesn't really work. The trading view alerts are the best because why? I can Alt A, put my mouse cursor where I want to put it, where 338, Alt A, okay. Then every time the price Binance hits 386, I want it to tell me. UST, USDT, 386, support, daily lower wicks. Possible buy entry. And okay, 386 is the wrong price, so you can just come into my alerts, edit it. It's supposed to be 336. So I always recommend check it because that happened to me so many times. Now the arrow's down here. I still don't understand why my alerts, I have to email TradingView. At some point my alert drawings got disconnected. So I keep forgetting to ask him about that. I'll do it after this stream. That's what I'm saying, right? If you have a triangle pattern like this, is well, the 10% target is 319. We know there's some bots that might buy down here, so watch out for that. Okay, why am I not giving 50 examples now? Is because many of these charts look very similar. Okay, we'll do a rapid fire. Because Cardano, this is slightly different, but it broke out. So, okay, this is great. If it holds above 78 cents and never goes down, we might turn to upside down head and shoulders to the upside. Maybe. But if it breaks down, this target down to 66 cents, 66 cents is still the target, right? There's only two scenarios. It's going to go that way. Maybe upside down head and shoulders, or pull back deep. Solana, this is what I'm saying. Same thing. You went for the bottom, supports, okay. It went to the top, resistance, and then folding down temporarily on these shorter term time frames. So the same swing trading setup applies. Although it might not pierce down as deep as I'm showing, but that's the general concept that we need to watch out for. Doge, same thing. I mean, so this is what I'm saying. If we do technical analysis and we draw enough lines that are correct, you don't have to do the work. You don't have to redraw every single time. If you have a paid TradingView account, you can save your chart and your templates, your intervals, your drawings, and you don't have to keep drawing the chart every single time 20 times a week or a month. I drew this Dogecoin chart one time last week, and where did it hit? The exact, almost the exact spot. It's psychologically close enough. There's that one liquidity spot right here. Intraday, this looks like a 1 hour upside down head and shoulders, or 4 hour. There it is. Right there, and it's testing that neckline back support. That's exactly what's happening right now on the TA charts. Where did this go? Went 6%. Did we go 6%? We went exactly 6%. Now crash down to the neckline. So now this, what is this? 0.1185 is the support level. If that fails, then you have a little trend line here. If that fails, where are we going down to? 1145. If all of that fails, going back down to 10 cents. And you just keep the same thinking. If that fails, then going down to 9 cents. Right? So this larger term target still is in play. And I know Elon Musk had a tweet for a little bit of this Bitcoin pump, a couple percent. So watch out for that. Again, this is just a USA list, so I don't look at every single crypto in the world. Double bottom on Uni, straight to a resistance, previous level resistance. This is not impossible to do. The hardest part sometimes about trading is just the emotional part. Buying into red can be dangerous sometimes. And if I get burned enough, like that's what happens. Right? Because right here, sometimes if you hit this, like negative 10%, right? The 2 to 1. The 2 to 1. Sometimes you don't want to catch a falling knife. I avoid when I see this on the charts, is red, 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 red. Sometimes I just don't do that. But now we have two clear levels on Uni. What is it? 983 and 809. And so it's not going to uptrend. It has to break above 10. It can't just skip to 12. It's not stocks. It's going to go through 10 and then go through 11 and then go to 12. So that's why you just put that 2 levels there. Litecoin. This one hit a really long old trend line from a really long time ago. So this is why it's important not to just zoom in on one time frame. So zoomed in like this. This is not technical analysis if you look like this. If you're at a 1 minute or 1 hour, you're looking like this, it's not helping you. We zoom out on daily. This old trend line, this is a problem still because Litecoin is downtrending. It was uptrending. 2 years ago, downtrending, but the problem is we crashed down and bounced right into this old trend line resistance in the blue. Significant, and is death crossed down here. But we did find, the only positive thing is we found a temporary bottom at $100. Great. That's good. Now we got this 1 hour uptrend going on. Okay, if it's going to keep holding, the 4 hour needs to hold. Actually, I could draw a little triangle in here. It's good to refresh this. Kind of this upward wedge, ascending wedge pattern. A deep support would be 105. But if it's going to keep going, I'm going to let it go. Let it run. The problem is the daily has a lot of work to do to reverse. It's possible, but like I said, it takes months. 3 months. About 3 to 4 months. All right, we'll do a couple more. And maybe I'll do just a couple more. Maybe I'll do, what did I miss? SHIB. Let's look at SHIB because it was the darling of 2021. I mean, Waves was just, let's look at Waves too, because Waves was phenomenal. We're getting a lot of red in this market. We just look at this, watch this really fast. But a day trader is going to try to buy that. Similar analysis, but the 1 hour, it really hitting that support level. Now it needs to hold as much as possible. 2249 needs to hold. But, okay, I don't want to get people too bummed out and sad about crypto. Is the good thing is, wait a second. Wait a minute. We've been downtrending this whole time. Downtrending, right? And we bounce up. But then the good thing is, wait a second. If we can hold SHIB above 2150, which is basically very close to where it is right now. 2150 or at least 2000. If we do not go under 2000 SHIB, this could potentially turn into a weekly double bottom, which would be huge upside. Might have to wait for this one though. I might buy some SHIB. I mean, it could happen in 30 days, but that would be a 40% move on SHIB if we can hold that 2000 right there. So what's the trade? I actually might do this. 6% to 12%, right? Because the big target is 30% or 40%. Let's pretend it's right here, right at 30%. So then like a 10% stop loss. Yeah, watch out though, because again, those bots, those shorts, those algorithms are going to try to kick everybody out of the position at some point. As long as we can hold above 2000 SHIB, this is a very interesting chart setup. It hasn't happened. Because the initial chart setup that mooned SHIB to the moon was, even if we didn't know it, if somebody didn't know it was upside down and shoulders, the support here at 600 SHIB, right? If we get that again at the 786 retrace, it might not moon, but you know, it's crypto. It probably should. So 30% is the first target, another 30-40% brings to 4,000 SHIB, which grand total would be, I mean, 75% profit. That's still great. All right, so some of these setups, if we can hold that support, it'd be very nice. Let's keep going really quick, excuse me. And then we'll end. So I want to see, you know, patterns that jump out to me in the face. I know I remember seeing a lot of people talking about XRP. Okay, we'll take a quick look at XRP for our global fans. XRP. This is the USDT Binance chart. It's not the cleanest. If I box it in, gigantic symmetrical triangle. Wow. If we use a conservative target, it could be conservative, like a 40%, right? It's a dirty upside down initial, not real. It's just holding below that resistance line. I think why people are excited is they see this, they saw 67 cents hold, they breakout traders and on the intraday, these people I'm talking to, or heard, what I heard is they're trying to get the higher high. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get it to $1. That's what they're doing. But the downside risk to that is 60 cents. That's not that great. Plus or minus 20%. I mean, right? But we have, it's not even low price. The low price was back in the end of January, relative low price. So it is uptrending. Okay, so if someone's going to try swing trade, I'll wait for a deeper pullback. Wait for this thing to pull back down. Down more. Somewhere in the 75-cent range would be nice. But see, SHIB has a better pattern, right? If we just look at it, we go down through this auger at a support level, band loss. This is a good example of that lower high, the head and shoulders weekly. Kyber, I remember calling Kyber because we drew this. It was like, I remember saying Kyber months ago. It was like 4 months ago. Because I have this drawing, excuse me. I saw this drawing. There's this giant, that's what I'm saying. I remember saying, well, 127 liquidity area, and then it exploded to the upside. But how long did somebody have to wait for that? Three months, or right where I poked it. That was not bad 3 weeks ago. I remember saying KNC 3 weeks ago. All right, but now it's, this one is particularly up cross. So, okay, great. How high is it going to go? On that stream is buying at a perfect spot. Risky, but perfect. Spot up. Beautiful 80%, but I would say try not to foam with that now. I'm giving this as an educational example because it's hitting this resistance here. Remember, is it in the sky? Is this white price in the sky, or is it in the ground? It's in the sky right now. It's just something to learn from. Can it keep going higher? Of course it can. It can keep going higher. It can come down. But at the same time for me, my general rule of thumb, buy low, sell high is it in the sky or is it on the ground? It's in the sky, for me at least. Even on daily, it's a little bit here. I would at least want to see, a pullback, healthy pullback. VeChain Thor, not really going anywhere. Oversold, but this one doesn't have such a nice, pretty pattern as SHIB, but there's some momentum building. I'm watching it, but very volatile coin. Let's keep going here. Crypto, the USA cryptos, I like to just look very quickly. Zen with a potential double bottom on the weekly for investors. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. I remember warning somebody about this on one of these streams. Watch out for this potential topping out, and it was a literal top out. Head and shoulders downside. Head and shoulders. Measure this. 6%. Whoa, this thing went negative 25%. That's why. Sometimes you don't touch it. I don't touch it. And then there's a real setup. This is what I'm saying. It's the strategy of the bots. I'm telling you. I'm telling myself too. You can just see it on the charts. There's that extreme short capitulation, just that one day, and that's like if market makers, hedge funds, they buy it back. What are they doing? They're kicking everybody out of the position and taking people's positions. And then once they establish the low, the whales, the big money market makers, then they're going to let the uptrend happen and they'll make money on both sides. But retail is, somebody tries to trade this, buy it here and hold it down, they just lost 50% or something, 40%. It's terrible. Just watch out for those kind of things. And then just like, if I'm really, really sensitive to the charts, then we could establish the support level and the resistance on the downside, on the top side. And now we're actually double topping right now. So it's not a good spot to buy. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of high. A better spot to buy is way down here at 32 range. At a minimum. Watch out for this thing. a lot of support. I'm just going to go quickly now, right? Support on Raven, BAT, support. CRV, not such. Zilliqa, potential upside down head and shoulders. It's retesting the neckline. We could get bullish continuation. It's not the biggest coin, but it's there for small positions. 12% to the upside. What is that? 47 cents. Zilliqa. But if Bitcoin crashes, then everything will crash too. But, you know, it's a 3-to-1 reward to risk. It's not the perfect spot, though. You want to try to wait for maybe one more pullback. This thing might pull back. I mean, bounce on the hourly, but it's still downtrending on the 5-15 minute. I'm not going to do all these QTUM. Again, this is, so I hope you're understanding. Why am I telling you so many examples is because the technique of technical analysis works if people have enough, you know, knowledge, information, experience, ability, skill to do it. I mean, in its most simple form, I'm drawing two lines, right? Like, what is it? If we just take a step back, just think about it. Not feel it out, but think about it. Is what am I actually doing here on the charts? This is the price, right? So even right here in this little 3 months is, I see, wait a second, the price is not going down below whatever this is. So what is that? $5, $5.10. That's an extremely important observation. Because if the price keeps going down like this, that is not the same chart pattern. What am I seeing here is, boom, it hits a certain price level where it's too cheap, then it bounces. Crashes down. This is the third or second, this is the second major support test. Right? And then we had the double bottom. This is why we're going up. And then we have, so you can even draw a resistance roof. We didn't quite hit that, but it's there. But the larger volatile scheme, the structure is 44%. If it breaks out bullish with Bitcoin, I mean, this thing can go 44%, or if it breaks down 44%, if I'm talking about long-term targets, like 6-month targets. Nobody has, but the problem is unless you're an investor, most people don't have patience for that. All right, let's keep going here. I'm gonna just go through some of these other coins. ICX, what happened here on ICX? The double bottom on the price. Very quickly. Still resistance here on ICX, 90 cents. Except for that top side. If you look at other coins like Mana, it's not the same setup. It's not that good. Mana's already up huge amount of money. Zcash kind of at this top side resistance level, right? Wow. Back in February, who knew that was going to be the low, right? I mean, we all looked at it right there, right? But the big test was this higher low and the liquidity test, the support test. It went up, tested it. Can we go lower? And it's got blocked. Then we start uptrending. That in itself is the pure essence of technical analysis. Support, resistance, trend. What is it doing now? It's uptrending, but it's pulling back. The problem is it's actually like too much news, and social media could be actually a problem. Could be a problem. So right here, you see the media support is 164, and then the larger term support down here will be 144. Those are nicer spots of value for Zcash. All right, let's keep going here. Oh, here's an interesting example. Because sometimes trying to time the bottom is very difficult. This particular trade would have got stopped down on Harmony, right? Because I was trying to say, if we can hold that higher low, we could go up. That did not happen, right? Now it's turned into an upside down head and shoulders on one Harmony. So readjust it. What's the new target? It's still 2-to-1 risk, but I have to wait a long time for this one, and it could crash down on you because it's only low on the 15-minute and relative on the 1 hour. But you know, I need to see a little bit more evidence that this support level is real. Can't just keep, you know, putting your money in and losing it. So you want to see some evidence. Who knows? Maybe it's going to turn into an upside down head and shoulders 2 months from now. It's possible. Let's look for anything interesting. Waves. Oh yeah, waves. I said I was going to talk about this. Waves. So to be honest, I didn't see this one because during this time from the start of the war, you know, I was doing stocks. So, you know, that's okay. It's okay. This type of thing will happen again. So for me, no FOMO. Like, what am I thinking and feeling when I see this? Oh well. Move on to the next chart setup. I can learn from it though. But the problem is, if somebody sees this and they're just starting out and they see, oh my goodness, waves went 300%. I have to buy it now, right? That somebody might think like that. So, but the problem is again, is it in the sky or is it on the ground? Is that support or is that a resistance? On this picture, that looks like it's at the top for now. Short squeeze, whatever you want to call it, FOMO, right? This particular one, the setup was not that pretty or beautiful, but simple support resistance could have, I probably should have put an alert here at $13 to make sure if I actually tried this to say, well, like I usually say, okay, if this thing's going up or down 60%, it went 2 times the target already. So all I had to do is put an alert right here at 13. I had plenty of time. I had 3 days to figure that out. But I was trading other stocks that were equally volatile, right? The HUSA went 400%, so that's why I don't feel remorse about missing waves. Doesn't really matter to me. But for other people who are pure crypto is, well, watch out. This thing is at the resistance. Watch out, watch out. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This thing is way too high relative. So again, if you look at RSI, is it in the sky or is it on the ground? It's in the sky right now. So I could learn from it, move on, or maybe set some alerts and targets to the downside. But it's up cross. Is it uptrending? Yes, it is uptrending. Great. But on a daily, it did golden up cross, so it could actually consolidate all the way back down to 1759 if nothing good happens on waves. So just watch out for that. If it's going to go true global FOMO, meaning everybody's going to buy, okay, well then it has to break and hold above $40. So that did not happen yet. Oh, I went way over. Okay, so I don't need to do all of these. The chart patterns for the USA list are very, very similar. Okay, you'll recognize Ethereum Classic had a nice pop. I have to talk about this one. All right, these are just, you know, opinion articles. This one, the way this one looks, yes, there might have been a news catalyst, even if I don't know what it is. It's a breakout play because it went from support. You could draw it right here. Let me draw it for us. Holding that support level, there's a triangle here. The symmetrical triangle. Measured move, 20% from the breakout. I went double the target. Ethereum Classic loves doing that if you traded this before. Loves doing that. Let's see what retracement level we held. This one might be a little bit too wide. So let me do a 2021 till now. Okay, this one makes more sense to me. This one makes more sense. Right, exactly there. Okay, so we held the 0.88 and held it multiple times, and it's trying to touch the 0.76 on the top. So you go low, high, right? So it could go to $40 like these articles are saying, but it's probably going to want to pull back at least once. The problem is at this point in time, the Asia market's not opening for 5 to 6 hours for me at the time of making this video. So it's not a perfect situation right now. But it is uptrending and staying up here. So the 1 hour, I'm not expecting this thing to drop down to $30 right away. Right? It needs to lose all these supports on the way down, 36, 34, 32, 30, 28, and so, etc. It's not going to do that easily. Meaning people are going to dip by that. Day traders are going to dip by that all week long. Just watch out for the top resistance. All right. Okay, I pretty much did the majors. So just going to call it here on the stream. I didn't see any comments today. So thank you so much for watching the stream. I'm live streaming on TradingView, YouTube, and Twitch. Also have a free Discord where I give a just basic watch list. This week's watch list is so different because instead of naming 50 stocks at one time, I'm just giving the general play. Just 2 notes of what I said in the stream. So very simply, if we go back to review, the S&P 500 it could keep going higher, but day traders might be trying to pull us back down in terms of shorting the price, not us, but pull the price down. It's still in the uptrend, but there might be a pullback at some point, maybe tomorrow morning or in 2 days from now, right? Because I would not be interested in going long until it hits a dip in the uptrend. That's what we want. We don't want to buy the sky. We don't want to buy things in the air. You want to buy things on the ground because it crashed down and then you could make money as a long. That way, like this. Right? But if you buy in the air and it crashes down on you and then I do that wrong 50 times in a row, I lost all my money, right? Or half my account. That's unacceptable. Okay, total, same. Not the exact same, but similar idea in terms of the rejection down from the resistance in the triangle, and we're still uptrending. So it just means that we need to test the support on the downside, maybe this X area, pull back and just hold it and not go lower. That'd be a good sign to the upside, right? But if it breaks down below 1.76 and keeps going down, then the bottom side of this triangle is the support level. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to people. It's not exactly the same 2 scenarios, but S&P 500 already broke out 3 days in a row, so I would not be surprised if we get some topping formation this week or next week. Okay, because the longer term time frame investing, if you're trying to hold for 1 or 2 years, this is a maybe right now. It's still not even confirmed. It's maybe. It's maybe 55% if I have to put some kind of number on it. Past 3 months, it was very low chance we're going up. But then this one, okay, maybe it's going to break out and pull back. Maybe 3, 6, 9 months from now, we might resume the uptrend. So I'm watching for it very closely. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, go ahead and give me a follow on any of these 3 platforms and join the free Discord. Or give it that free weekly watch list. Also, if you have any questions, hopefully there are not too many questions, but in the Discord general chat, just go ahead and ask your question there. So keep the ideas flowing for the next stream. Hope you have a nice day today. Hope you have a nice week. Always remember to manage risk, position size, and use a stop loss if you're trading. All right. See you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.